Welcome back, and joining us now is Peter McGuire. He is CEO, Exim Australia. Peter, welcome. And the headlines clearly coming in from the crude oil prices, where we saw 2% of a jump overnight. We're trading at a 5-month highs right now, and $87 is just inches away, with most Wall Street banks and brokerages anticipating that 90 and 95 is not too far. What's your own sense?
Exactly, Manisha, and good afternoon. I think, there's so many, key drivers. We've seen a very aggressive push up over the last, say, week and a half. It's been very, very strong, and it's sitting at that, that back to where we were in the latter part of October. So, yeah, that's really taken the market, I think, by a little bit of a surprise. And I think that there's further upside, certainly. There's a couple of reasons why, and it's going to be a very interesting lead up to Easter.
Oh, well, absolutely. We are looking at the Japan already out with its monetary policy, and you have the US Fed announcement coming in tomorrow, and then you have Bank of England and Switzerland and UK as well coming in. What's your sense? I mean, it's a very data-heavy week in that sense.
Absolutely. From a central bank perspective, it's really, it's probably the biggest week of the year with 5 central banks. Switzerland will be the only one, I think, that'll cut, but the other ones are having a keen eye on inflation. What's going on there? When are we going to see any form of cutback as far as rate policy? And the way it's going, Manisha, if crude was to head up higher from here, then it might be pushed back from June, and it can't go much later, really, because of the election. It's going to be politically biased if it goes in there, and your first cut's going to be September. So it's a very delicate situation the Fed sees itself in, and of course, the situation with other central banks.
So while $90, as you say, is a possibility, do you see the prices holding above that, sustaining there?
Well, that comes down to a couple of key factors. First off, and I saw Secretary of the US Energy, Jennifer Granholm, and she came out and said that you're looking at that large purchase for the SPR, the best part of 210 million barrels. So that's really going to, I think, hit everyone by it's affected the market and certainly driven it higher. You've got the ongoing situation with drone attacks to Russia, and there's certainly a point in time where Ukraine and the whole fabric of that particular war, if that was to further escalate. So, yeah, it's a delicate one, and also that hasn't been put to bed in any fashion or form, is the Israel/Hamas situation. So, yeah, there's a little bit of geopolitics also bubbling along, Manisha.
Oh, yes, it is. And, apart from that, China, which was the weaker piece of the puzzle until now, also seems to be adding up in some sense. I mean, 9 out of 10 data that has come in from China seems to be doing better now.
Yes, it has. I mean, there's certainly that, and I suppose copper was one way of looking at it from a price perspective. Though you've still got the major issues as far as the likes of Evergrande and the property sectors having a pretty tight time at the moment. But yes, we may have seen the worst of since after COVID, the worst signs. Certainly the stock market's bounced, the CSI 300 and most of China's markets. So yeah, we could be actually seeing a little bit of sunshine on the year of China.
Okay, so where would you look at or recommend buying from here on? I mean, we've seen a huge run-up almost across industrial commodities there. So whether it's energy or ferrous metals, non-ferrous have done quite well, including copper, aluminum, zinc, nickel, even tin for that matter. Where are you betting huge right now?
Well, I think tin's had a nice run up, and I think some of those markets are probably, they're maybe fully priced. I think they'll just have to give up a little bit just to see where they are, because they've certainly moved quite aggressively if you're looking at the likes of copper. And we'll just see where it is over the next couple of, maybe another week. And it's not unusual to see that, as far as, it's a fair bit of horsepower driving it. But the other side is, I think I'd keep a closer eye on crude, because I don't think that it's the end of this particular rally. And I feel as though that you could see higher prices over the next matter of trading sessions leading up to Easter, Manisha.
All right, Peter, thank you so much for joining us. So crude continues to be in headlines, and the rally is not done yet, is what Peter says. So further highs from something is that you'll need to watch out for. Also in metals, copper is something that continues to run up as well. All-time highs, remember, in the Chinese markets there. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. And with that, it's time for a break. But Business Lunch will take all the action forward.